When I'm reviewing a product, I always try to be as objective as possible, but that's very difficult to do with this. This is the Camp Snap 8 digital video camera. This is a camera that is built for fun, so I'm going to put aside objective Jordan for a little bit, bring you fun Jordan, and tell you what I think about this camera. I'm Jordan Drake. This is PetaPixel. Let's find out. Okay, it's fun Jordan here. So what makes the Camp Snap 8 interesting? And looking at it, you might think, oh, this is a new film camera. But no, this is a digital video camera, but they've tried to bring kind of a classical experience to it in a few different ways. So we don't have any LCDs. There's actually no option to even play back your footage on this. All you get is a single electronic viewfinder for framing up your shots. But they do want to give you some creative flexibility with this. So you can see we've got some very retro looking switches on here that are going to let you switch between different color modes, like a standard film mode, a more vintage faded look. You've got two options for that, black and white, and also different aspect ratios. This is natively a 4:3 sensor, but you can also shoot a fully square 1:1, 16:9, and vertical 9:16 as well if you want. There's a few other fun nods to the past, like the way that you actually record with this is there is a trigger, hold it down and you will start rolling, and then if you want to stop recording, you just let go of it. There's no option for a toggle on this where you can just push it once to start rolling, push it again to stop. But also because there's no LCD on this, you need a way to see your camera settings. Now, some of them, like your aspect ratio, your color profile, are on the physical dials, but I absolutely love the displays for your SD card remaining and your battery life remaining. They're these adorable little gauges, and even people who are incredibly cynical about this camera are like, man, those are pretty sweet. So I know you're watching this video right now and you're thinking, man, that guy looks really good. And it's not just the rad sweater that he's rocking. Well, a big part of that is lighting. And I film in my house all the time, especially for the PetaPixel podcast. I'm lit with a Westcott L60B with the Rapid Box Switch Octa S. And it's just a very compact package, but gives me really nice quality of light. And I love that I can dim in very small increments, and I can change the color temperature on this as well, so it can balance properly with the ambient light. And one thing I really like that Westcott's done is they sell this as a 2-light kit, where you can get 2 Cobb 60s and a Rapid Box switch in a nice case. It's a great way to just have all of your lighting needs very quickly addressed, and it's quite affordable as well. So if that interests you, check out fjwestcott.com or click the link in the description below, and you can get yourself a couple of sweet L60Bs and look as hot as I do. Alright, it's objective Jordan to tell you what this camera actually is. So it's all built around a Type 1/2.7 sensor, which is actually physically quite close to what Super 8 film gave you. The thing is, this also has a just over 3mm lens on it, which is going to give you a field of view pretty close to like a 20-21mm full frame equivalent. This is an f2 lens, but remember, we are pairing that with an extremely small sensor, so if you think it might be fun to take it out and film the kids tobogganing late at night with the Christmas lights twinkling off in the distance, don't. It's gonna look really, really bad. Now, in terms of the resolution that this sensor can give you, it's giving you 2.9K footage, and it's at its highest resolution when you're using a 4:3 record mode, which is the native aspect ratio of this sensor. Any of the other modes, you're just cropping in on the sensor. Weirdly, even though this is supposed to give you kind of a vintagey film sort of experience, it's shooting exclusively at 30p. So we've got this small sensor with an ultra-wide lens that captures 30p footage. You might be thinking that sounds a lot like they just stuck a dash cam into a fancy box, and you're probably correct, because that's exactly what I think has happened here. Now, despite the very aesthetically pleasing telephoto and wide-angle buttons and the indicator on the front of the lens that this is an 8 times powerful zoom, This is actually a fixed lens camera. All you're doing is digitally cropping into an already pretty low resolution sensor. There's some real drawbacks to this design as well. Like, although there is a 1/4-20 tripod mount right on the bottom of the camera here, remember, you've got to be able to hold that trigger in order to record. So look forward to leaning forward and holding down the record button as you attempt to film yourself. The other thing is this gives you the option to crop into the sensor, but once you go to the vertical record mode on it, the sensor resolution is just so incredibly low, I'd say it's basically useless. That said, you can always hold the camera sideways, and this works, but you will look like a goober. Objective Jordan is lame and has no creativity and doesn't recognize that you could simply grab one of your daughter's scrunchies in order to turn this into a powerful tool to film yourself, as I am doing right now in beautiful 4:3 mode with the standard profile on it. And this thing, as goofy as it may look, is an excellent conversation starter. Every time I took this out, whether it was at the camera store or just out on the street walking around with it, people are always like, "Oh, what is that cool camera? Are you shooting film?" And I have to say, no, it's just a digital video camera. And I do think this camera will have some appeal for kids. My 10 and 5-year-old had a lot of fun running around filming each other, and I do think a lot of that is just the novelty of holding down the trigger and not knowing exactly what they've captured. And when you do want to play that back and show them what they've filmed, I like that it's just a simple USB-C interface on this that handles charging as well as downloading, and all the files are super simply laid out. As well, what's more fun than setting the date and time? You've got 3 entire buttons dedicated to making sure you got that date and time absolutely dialed in. All right, it's Objective Jordan again. Talk about some more things that just drive me crazy with this camera. And for starters, this does include a 4GB card, which gets you actually a good amount of time, about a half an hour of recording, because this is very, very compressed video coming off of it. Ideal if it were, for example, used in a dash cam. But the thing is, if you want to add some more storage to that, it is under a couple of screws, so it's super annoying to access if you're actually out in the field. As well, there's an annoyance, but it's only an annoyance on my early model, which is the top here looks like it's a cold shoe that you could put something on, but you actually can't remove that. But the future models that are coming out will offer both a cold shoe and a microphone jack, which is going to be really useful because the sound coming off the internal mics on this is frankly bad. I just love watching men work. But maybe that's part of the appeal of this camera. But one thing that just drove me crazy with this is the electronic viewfinder is quite low resolution, but the eye relief is incredibly poor on it. So pushing my face right up to it, I can't make out the entire frame. You're kind of moving your head around to look at all of the different areas of it. I mean, people wearing glasses are never going to be able to see the whole frame that they're recording on this. And if you look at the electronic viewfinder, it looks like there's a little button here, so I was hoping I could maybe change the frame size, make it a little easier to see. But that doesn't seem to do anything. Okay, no fun, Jordan. There are definitely some technical limitations to this camera. But the question is it fun? Because this is a relatively affordable camera. And when I was actually recording or when my kids were using it, we were having a lot of fun with this camera. And the fact that you can't play back that footage means there is a little bit of anticipation for when you get it home and download the footage, which is kind of cool. The big thing though is, does this inspire a vintage kind of vibe? And it's not going to give you a Super 8 vibe because it can't even shoot 24 frames per second. Just due to the nature of the sensor on this, it really gives you kind of a VHS look to the footage, but weirdly with an ultra-wide lens. So it just really doesn't have a strong vintage aesthetic, even when you're putting on some of those other digital filters. But I want to hear from all of you. Do you find the idea of this camera compelling? And is it something that you're actually going to be scooping up this holiday season? Let me know in the comments below, and definitely check out the PetaPixel podcast. I'm going to be grumbling about this camera on it. You can watch it right here on the same YouTube channel or listen to it on all your favorite podcasting apps. And if you want to support the stuff that we do here at PetaPixel, the best way is with a PetaPixel membership. $3 a month or $30 for a whole year. You can check out the website ads-free, download sample JPEG and RAW files of all the photo cameras that we review, and you'll get sweet discounts from KEH, the Moment Store, and the PetaPixel merch store. Definitely worth checking out. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you all again soon with more from PetaPixel.